comes courtesy of our friends over at The View. When I say our friends over at The View, I mean the low IQ idiots who are on panel at The View. And yes, you are a complete stupid idiot. My God, she is so stupid. This is the same lady who thinks everything is racist. Everything and everyone is racist, except Hitler and the Holocaust. Genius.
Ben Shapiro is well known for challenging and critiquing what he perceives as misguided opinions, especially those from individuals who, in his view, share poorly researched liberal perspectives on popular issues. He often targets these viewpoints, accusing them of being influenced by mainstream media narratives. Before diving deeper, though, Ben usually reminds viewers to like and subscribe, emphasizing how much their support means to his channel. Now let's focus on Ben's interest in joining The View. It's no secret that Ben has expressed a strong desire to appear on the show. He has publicly stated his willingness to step into the debate and confront the hosts, ready to debate his views on trending topics with them.
Long ambition to actually be a guest on The View. They'll never have me on, of course, because it would go horribly.
Let's be honest. Ben Shapiro likely wasn't prepared for the level of controversy that comes with confronting one of The View's most outspoken hosts, Whoopi Goldberg. Ben doesn't hesitate to challenge her, especially when it comes to her controversial remarks about the Holocaust. As a Jewish individual, he finds her comments deeply offensive and has made it clear he's not backing down.
Holocaust isn't about race. No, it's not about race. No, it's about
a different race.
But it's not about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
Whoopi, in a moment of ignorance, claimed the Holocaust wasn't about race, prompting Ben to swiftly call out her absurdity.
It's not about
race.
But these are two white groups of people.
Not only is that the worst clip in the history of The View, that is the worst clip in the history of television. Like, all of television.
Ben emphasized that for someone who often focuses on race, it's impossible to exclude the Holocaust, arguably the most racially driven genocide, from that discussion.
Goldberg is obnoxious and stupid beyond all measure. The Holocaust was not about race. Ask the Nazis. The entire Holocaust was about race. All of it. Which is why they didn't just pick on Jews who observed Judaism. They picked on anyone who had quote-unquote Jewish blood. The entire thing was about...
Ben finds it deeply frustrating that the Holocaust, a pivotal event in world history, is being downplayed. By reducing it to just man's inhumanity to man, as Whoopi did, she minimizes the immense suffering of millions and distorts historical reality.
Millions. Man's inhumanity to man. Nope. It is about a genocidal attempt to exterminate the Jews, which has a thousands-of-year-old history. And yes, it was rooted...
Ben's frustration is clear, not only because he's Jewish, but because such a misguided statement is aired to millions without pushback. How could anyone downplay the systematic murder of 6 million Jews as anything other than a racially charged tragedy?
Yes, you are a complete stupid idiot. My God, she is so stupid. This is the same lady who thinks everything is racist. Everything and everyone is racist, except Hitler and the Holocaust.
Ben isn't just calling out Whoopi for a single mistake. She's far from the only one making outrageous statements. Other The View hosts have also contributed to this growing list of absurd comments. While Whoopi might have competition in the realm of controversial remarks, Ben's critique that The View often serves as a platform for ignorance only gains more support. One notable example was Whoopi's shocking comparison between the United States and Israel to terrorist groups like Hamas and the Taliban, highlighting the depth of the misguided rhetoric on the show.
And comparing the U.S., Israel, Hamas, and the Taliban as all terrorist organizations. And she has maybe way more knowledge and experience in the very complicated Middle Eastern relations. But I did find that being on a foreign committee and comparing the country to a known terror, those are organized terrorist communities, that, not Israel, but Hamas.
When Ben heard Whoopi's comparison, he was stunned. How could someone with her platform make such a misleading and extreme statement? Naturally, Whoopi didn't hold back in her response, leaving viewers bewildered and frustrated.
That depends on who you talk to.
Right. Well, I mean, that's how they're recognized as terrorist organizations.
But it does depend on who you talk to.
Well, they're recognized in this country.
Depends on who you talk to. Whoopi, always available to sign in to both compare Israel and the United States to terrorist organizations and also compare terrorist organizations to apparently not terrorist organizations. Like, Hamas is not a terrorist organization?
Let's see what Ben has to say on this.
Oh, man. It is amazing because Whoopi is sort of seen on this show as sort of the wise old sage. And I have to say,
the most frustrating part for Ben is that other hosts on The View rarely confront Whoopi. And when they do, it's more about maintaining harmony than challenging her views. Ben's issue with the show goes beyond finding it laughable. He finds it alarming that such poorly thought-out statements are often either accepted or ignored. He argues that, on The View, if you dare to show any sign of intellectual independence, you risk being singled out and criticized for not conforming to the show's daily chaos.
That a lot of the English language has to be rethought. Blackmailing is negative, black sheep, negative. I can think of a few others if I had the time, but those words are kind of like embedded in our psyches and maybe need to be changed. Why is a black sheep a bad thing and a white sheep is a good thing? Why? They're just sheep.
Well, it's not the words. It's not the words, it's the way we...
It's truly concerning that The View has been on the air for years, consistently promoting divisive narratives and making attention-grabbing statements that only deepen political divides. Ben often humorously compares the show to a circus, where the hosts portray themselves as champions of equality, yet simultaneously spew some of the most reckless and uninformed rhetoric.
Joy, probably they started saying black sheep versus white sheep, not because of the commonality of the sheep, but because of black people in like rural Europe. Nailed it. Yeah, it's about what? African-American sheep. This is so stupid. It's about black male, like black people male in the...
The View isn't just about Whoopi's mistakes. Joy Behar has also made plenty of controversial remarks. Ben observes that these hosts often ignore basic fact-checking and truth, prioritizing bold statements that align with their liberal agenda instead.
That kids in this country are learning our history. They're not learning about slavery. They're not learning about Jim Crow. They don't understand the history of black Americans in this country. If they did, they would then understand white privilege better. So my suggestion is start teaching this stuff. It's deplorable, again, that word, that they do not learn history, period. I mean, people who are young, under 50, don't know who
Ben highlights Joy's well-meaning but flawed attempts to defend black people, noting how her comments often unintentionally reinforce stereotypes.
What is she talking about? We all learned in school about slavery and Jim Crow and FDR. Honestly, it's the people who are teaching DEI crap in public schools who actually don't care whether the kids know who FDR is. Those kids don't know the first thing about history. But they know that people...
Ben points out that when Joy attempts to play the role of the ultimate ally, she often ends up making serious missteps. Her inability to recognize how harmful her views can be is what makes her one of the most dangerous voices on the show. The backlash she receives online only shows that viewers are seeing through her attempts to present herself as progressive. If she keeps it up, Joy might soon surpass Whoopi for making the most outlandish statements on The View.
Ed, I grew up in a world where a woman who looks like me with my kind of skin and my kind of hair was never considered beautiful. So, do her words resonate with you at all?
Because you're a black person? That's that.
Let's revisit one of Whoopi's most cringeworthy moments when she scolded men for having an opinion on what happens to fetuses. Ben's response was priceless as he highlighted the glaring contradictions in Whoopi's stance. He questioned how, if liberal ideologies claim to be inclusive and progressive, Whoopi, who aligns with those views, could overlook the potential transphobic and ageist implications of her words. It's puzzling, especially considering the high standards the left holds others to, yet seems to disregard in this case.
Any of you men have any eggs or the possibility of carrying a fetus? How dare you talk about what a fetus wants? You have no idea. I'm fine if you disagree with abortion. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, you do.
My problem comes when you tell me what I need to do with my doctor and my family. How dare you?
How dare you?
How dare...
Ben's reaction to this moment is both humorous and thought-provoking. He questions why Whoopi, often seen as the wise voice on The View, consistently makes such uninformed and misguided remarks. After years in the public spotlight, it's odd that she continues to make these basic, avoidable errors.
Many questions on this, as it turns out. First,
transphobia.
Massive transphobia. If you don't have eggs, you can't... Are you saying that some women can't be men and some men can't be women? Are you saying that unless you have eggs, you're not a woman? Is that what you're saying, Whoopi Goldberg? Also, if that is the new standard, how about women who are postmenopausal? Whoopi Goldberg? Can they have opinions on... I mean, you can't have a baby right now, I assume.
In the end, Ben doesn't hold back when it comes to The View. There's so much material to criticize, and he's always ready to break down the show's most absurd comments. Let's be real. If Ben ever stepped foot on that set, it would be a nightmare for the liberal hosts. He'd have them cornered in no time. While Ben is eager for that moment, many viewers are just as excited for the day it happens. Thanks for watching today's video and for sticking with us until the end. We want to know, what was the most cringe-worthy moment from The View that had you shaking your head? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more content.